Right, so you saw the thumbnail. Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. This fight is on the cards. I'm going to say this fight is going to happen. I know I did a video recently where I said normal service has resumed because Justin Gaethje, the interim champion, is going to fight Ilia Topuria, the undisputed champion, and that's what should happen. But as we know, there is the White House card coming up. It's around the corner. Dana White is actively sitting down in the war room with Mick Maynard and Sean Shelby probably right now, and they are making the fight card. They are matching the fight.
I am now heading into matchmaking for the White House. Starts right now.
And they want this to be the biggest fight night, fight event, fight card of all time.
You know, this is like a one-of-one event. It's something that will never happen again. We believe that this is going to be the most watched UFC event ever.
And of course it has to be. You can't put an event on at the White House and not have the fight card just blow everything else to smithereens, right? This thing has to deliver, and it absolutely will. And they're going to put together the most incredible night of fights that us fight fans, UFC fans, could ever imagine, right? And there's no bigger fight right now, in my humble opinion, than Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria.
Yeah, I like this idea. If UFC want, I know a lot of MMA fans want this fight. I'm ready.
I know Justin is the interim and Ilia is the undisputed, and that should happen. It really should. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime occasion. It's going down on the White House lawn. President Trump will be there. The whole world will be tuning in. That's a fact, okay? There's going to be billions of people watching this. They want to put on the biggest fights, okay? So unfortunately, in this situation, Justin Gaethje is going to have to wait, because on one side, you have Islam Makhachev, a man that is 28-1, okay? A two-weight division champion. Dominated lightweight, the greatest lightweight fighter that the sport has ever seen. Yes, Conor McGregor was a bigger star. Yes, Khabib Nurmagomedov may be the GOAT, and he's a cultural icon, of course, and what he's done in this sport will never be forgotten. But on paper, Islam Makhachev has defended the belt 4 times more than anybody else, and then he went up to welterweight to take on Jack Della Maddalena and smoked him, walked through him, one-way traffic, made it look kind of easy, respectfully to Jack. The man is an extremely dominant two-weight division champion. And then on the other side, you've got Ilia Topuria. Speaking of Conor McGregor, did exactly what Conor did, went straight through the featherweight division, knocked out the champion in Volkanovski and made it look kind of easy. And then, again, goes up a weight class, takes on Charles Oliveira, takes him down, gets him in a crucifix, and then knocks him spark out, knocks him to the shadow realm. And he also became a two-weight division champion. Has that ever happened? Have we ever seen two-weight division champions going up against one another in their absolute primes? I don't think we have. Whether it's in their prime or old damaged goods, I don't think we've ever seen two weight division champions going up against each other. It's never happened. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. But I really don't think that's ever happened. So this would truly be a one-of-a-kind, at a one-of-a-kind event, at the most desired fight night in the history of the sport. Every man and their dog, every fighter, whether they're retired, whether on the fringe of retirement, whether they're recently retired or whether they're at the top of the sport or not, they're all putting their hand up. They're all saying, I want to fight on the White House card. We got Jorge Masvidal calling out Conor McGregor. That might be on there. We got John Jones, who retired, who ducked Tom Aspinall, who walked away from the sport, did a quick U-turn, stuck the handbrake on, spun it around and said, nah, that, I'm back, guys. Put me on at the White House. Michael Chandler's calling for the White House. As I say, everyone wants to be on the White House, okay? This fight card will be spectacular, and we're all going to watch it. It's going to be insane, and it's probably going to be free to air as well. But this fight, okay, Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria, I do believe that is the biggest fight. Yeah, of course, you got Pereira versus maybe a Cyril Gane for an interim championship at heavyweight. But is there a bigger fight? And yeah, maybe John Jones if he was to fight Tom Aspinall, but Tom Aspinall's out for the foreseeable future. John Jones doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall anyway, and John Jones can't be relied upon anyway because he said that he's got bad arthritis and he's walking away from the sport because he wants to play with his kids when he gets older.
I have severe arthritis, and most people don't know that.
So you can't blame John for that, okay? This sport does take its wear and tear on you. If you are retired, stick to it. Hey, tip of the cap, bon voyage, what a career, one of the greatest of all time. Just stop teasing the comebacks, okay? Anyway, let's just get down to the nitty-gritty on this fight. Topuria versus Makhachev. Now, a lot of people have had a lot to say. And in fact, Khabib Nurmagomedov has come out and he has warned Topuria, listen, you are not ready for this. You do not want to step up to 170 pounds and take on Islam Makhachev. He said that he talks a good game and he fights pretty good. But against Islam Makhachev, he's going to learn a very tough lesson. And he's not the only Russian talking a bit of shit either. Old Shara Bullet, my one-eyed brother.
Hold on. There we go. Now we're brothers.
Of course, he came out and he had something to say. He said, Ilia Topuria is a good fighter on his own, but if you look at how he got to the belt, there were 4 or 5 questionable opponents. And when he fought really serious fighter, they were already worn out. Charles Oliveira was worn out. I think Max Holloway was a tough opponent, but he's not the same as before. He's taken a lot of damage in his career and he's kind of slowed down. Alexander Volkanovski was also not on the same level as what he used to be. Now, I'm a big fan of Shara Bullet. Of course, we have some things in common, and I think what he's doing in this sport with his limitations is phenomenal. But I disagree with him there, right? Listen, Max Holloway, you can't say this man's out to pasture. You can't say the best days are behind him. He just knocked out Justin Gaethje cold last year, granted, and he also beat Dustin Poirier in his retirement fight. Now, maybe Dustin did have one foot out the door because it wasn't the best performance, but to just write off all of Ilia Topuria's success, you can't do that. And when he came up to 155 against Charles do Bronx Oliveira, it wasn't just a knockout punch. It was the way that he controlled the entire fight. And then when you look at what Charles Oliveira just did to Matheus Gamrot down in Brazil last year in October, right? You try telling Charles Oliveira that he's damaged goods. You try telling him that he should retire and hang it up. The man's fighting for the BMF, right? At the next pay-per-view against Max Holloway. And Ilia Topuria ran all the way through them. Made it look easy. He really did, right? Now, would this be the main event at the White House? I don't know. Does this suck to be Justin Gaethje? Of course it does, right? Justin Gaethje's no spring chicken. He's probably on the verge of retirement as well. Just put on a great performance, a great show, and a great battle between Justin and Paddy. Everyone loved that fight, right? And he should be next. But sorry, it is what it is in this kind of strange circumstances. And this is one of the only circumstances where I would not have an issue with this fight happening, because it is supposed to be the interim champion. And we know what happened with Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blaydes defending the interim and all the rest of it, yada, yada, yada. We can go on all day. You know the score, right? But this is a little bit different. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right, to headline the White House. Now, that's the big question. Would it headline, do you think, a Russian versus a Spaniard or a Russian versus a Georgian at the White House? I don't think they care. I think they just want the best fights possible. And tell me, is there a better fight right now than two weight division champions in their prime going up against one another?
But then there's also people that say the Ilia Topuria and the Islam fight is the biggest fight you can make.
I think right now, yeah, I think Topuria Islam, it can be biggest fight, not John Jones and Pereira.
Islam Makhachev probably has a wrestling advantage. Ilia Topuria, for sure, has a boxing advantage. Ilia Topuria, for sure, has a punching power advantage. That is not even a conversation. But Islam Makhachev, the level of competition that he's beaten, of course, he's a much bigger guy as well. He's got the better grappling. He's maybe got better jiu-jitsu, and you could argue tougher competition against bigger guys, right? But more importantly, the big thing is the size. Islam Makhachev is just naturally a much bigger person. But Islam Makhachev also got knocked out in the UFC against Adriano Martins, right? And of course, we can all get clipped. We can all get caught right in the sweet spot and go down. Of course we can. But some people don't. Ilia Topuria hasn't, not yet, right? Islam Makhachev did, and he went down. And Adriano Martins does not have the punching power that Ilia Topuria does. Now, I've waffled on for quite some time. I saw this. Khabib's talking shit. Shara Bullet's talking shit. Ilia Topuria, you know that man is talking shit constantly, all the time, and I love that about him. Calling out Crawford, calling out Shakur Stevenson, calling out Khabib.
Khabib used to take people in his shoulder, take them down and talk to Dana. I would do it to Khabib.
Saying that he's going to submit Islam in front of Khabib and laugh at him and smile him whilst he's doing it, right?
I will submit him closer to Khabib.
You'll submit him in front of Khabib?
Yeah.
This has got all the makings. It's got everything you want. You couldn't write it better. Again, I'll say it. Two weight division champions in their prime at the White House on the lawn in front of the president. We all get to watch it. I hope I'm bloody there. Is that the main event for the White House? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section, please. Take a breath, Bisping. And also, who wins this fight? Does it even happen? Should Justin get it? You let me know what you think about this. I think this is a no-brainer. This is the fight that has to happen. It does suck for Justin Gaethje, but I've waffled on for long enough. I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell, all that nonsense. You guys take care.